Deal with the farm stands on Vashon Island? You got a question about it? Let's check it out. Today, we're going to interview one of the farmers of on Vashon. Amanda, with Aaron, her husband, run Aeggys Farm down on Liza Beulah. One of my favorite egg sandwiches come from them, and they're fabulous. She'll tell you all about it. We'll talk about it there. But there's like 20 or so farm stands on the island, which are just fabulous. I just can't love it more. There's two or three right near my house and two or three right near everyone's house, frankly. And, the coffee can, and you throw your money in there and you grab your eggs or you grab your lettuce or whatever they're selling, whatever's in season, or you pay $20 a week and they send you a box. But it's diverse, it's local, it's fantastic. And so I wanted to do a series where we get to interview the farmers and meet them. And with no further ado, here's Amanda from Aeggys Farm. Amanda, thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate you taking a couple minutes out. I know this is high season for y'all and picking and getting everything ready and getting everything going. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, sure. I was right in the middle of lavender harvesting.
Excellent. All right. Well, tell me about what you grow here. Tell me about the main crops and what you do year round.
Well, our biggest crop is the chicken eggs.
Uh-huh.
That's where we make the most money.
How many chickens?
Right now, about 150.
Wow.
And it fluctuates. Sometimes we have 250. Sometimes we have 125. But in the summer, we have about 150, and most of them go to the Aeggy's farmer's market, our sandwiches, when we're making our sandwiches.
Oh, really? So most of the eggs go to your own sandwiches at the farmer's market?
And people are angry because we don't have as many in the farm stand.
That's great.
And
so every week, the farmer's market then is the big moneymaker then?
Yeah.
And that's from when to when?
That's from April to end of September. And the eggs, in the summer we have less in the farm stand, but we have more at the farmer's market.
Right.
And in the summer, we're just starting now. Our tomatoes are in season, and so we can use our tomatoes and greens in the sandwich.
Right.
So it's really farm to table.
That's awesome. Yeah, I had one at Strawberry Festival. It was delicious.
Yeah, it is.
It was great. And whose bread is that? Is that Macrina?
Yep, Macrina, who started here on the island.
I love that bread.
Yeah.
I used to have a bakery in Albuquerque back in the day, and that was
Oh.
so. And when I got here, I was like, oh, I don't actually have to bake because there's really good bread.
There's so much.
I think it's Macrina and Essential and Grand Central.
Yeah.
They do as good a job as you could possibly do.
Yeah, we discovered Macrina. It was kind of cool. She used to give some of her off bread, like the extra bread or something, over at Eagles.
Oh, really?
And we would just, she was giving it away at Eagles, and we tasted it, and we're like, oh my gosh, this would be so good
So
for an egg sandwich.
She started here on the island.
She started here on the island. She lived here, and then I guess she got big and opened some stores in Seattle. But she would bring over leftover bread or something and leave it for free at the Eagles.
Is
and
that funny?
We would pick it up, and it was like, okay, let's make a sandwich with this.
They're square
Yeah.
buns. And then I think they also do the buns for the Cuban sandwich, the best sandwich in the world.
Paseo.
Paseo, which is the best sandwich on the planet, right?
Their tofu Cuban sandwich is amazing
I
to die for.
But I do the pork sandwich. It's fucking so good. Anyway, all right.
So eggs
are the big thing, and the biggest place is at the farmer's market on Sunday. All right, great.
And then closely behind is berries and flowers. Flowers. I mean, we have such a perfect hillside for flowers. So Zena, my sister-in-law, is really in charge of that, and she does fresh flowers in the summer, and then in the winter she grows these dry flowers, and she makes wreaths and dried flower bouquets.
So she grows dry flowers? Or
they're like these
flowers to be made to be dried.
I don't know. They're like these flowers that are dry.
Okay, good. See, this is good because now you sound insane. I like that. I like how you have no idea really what's going on.
Yeah, right? She grows them, then they're dry somehow, and then they make wreaths.
And they make wreaths, and they sell them, and we survive on them.
She has run a Wreath Workshop the last 2 years, and it's been really successful.
So it's a whole family endeavor.
Oh, yeah.
Like, who else is involved?
So my father-in-law, he was he worked on a chicken farm. His family had a chicken farm when he was a kid out in Kirkland.
Okay.
And so he collects the eggs, brushes them off, puts them in the cartons, feeds the chickens, loves the chickens. And then his granddaughter, my niece, Savvy, she's named like half the chickens.
How old's Savvy?
She is 8 now.
Okay.
And so she knows all. She could be a 4-H chicken woman or girl.
Whatever.
She knows so much. So, yeah, she's involved.
And they're in charge of the chickens. And so, but everyone lives on island?
Mm-hmm. Everybody lives here, or we live up a little bit up north. Yep. And
so it's a commune. You have a hippie commune here. You guys
yeah, we grow our own food and then we sell some of it on the side.
I know. I feel like maybe I'm going to get kidnapped and not be able to leave or something. Like, okay.
I know. I could put you to work. We have plenty to do.
It's great. And so flowers.
Flowers, sweet peas, dahlias, sunflowers. This is our flower expose over here. And Aaron got a wild hair a few years ago, and we planted a ton of lavender, and so now we're doing lavender.
Right.
It's experimental. Okay. I mentioned berries. So a few years ago, we figured out that berries, like people are all about berries, and that's a big seller. So we cleared a bunch more land and planted a bunch of raspberries and widened our blueberry patch. Cherry trees, they do okay. And we tried Olympic berries, which is this berry fusion that somebody on the island made.
Oh, right.
It's like a fusion between blackberries and raspberries, but really tried and true. Raspberries, blueberries. People are crazy about them.
That's great. And you can grow enough flowers and eggs and everything to sustain, sounds like 3 families.
We all have other jobs.
Oh, you all have other jobs. Okay, fine. Okay, good.
So I guess it's kind of it's like a second job for everyone who lives here. Except for my parent-in-laws, they're retired.
Except for the chicken part.
Yeah. And they just take care of the land and schmooze.
And so whose land is it originally?
It's my father and mother-in-law's, John and Karen's.
Yeah.
And they let us do all this on their land.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, and then...
So this is like a side hustle.
This is a side hustle. That's the word for it.
Okay, fine.
This farm is our side hustle.
Major side, though. Major.
It is. But it's like it grows like a farm. So like last summer we started farm dinners.
Oh yeah.
People love coming to the farm, walking through the flower patch, picking a cucumber or something. And then Aaron is a chef. So my Aaron, you Aaron.
I wasn't confused.
Aaron is a chef, and so he uses some of the vegetables from the farm and meats that he likes. And we had this Tuesday farm dinner. It was really successful.
That's great. And how often?
Well, we're starting them up again this year.
Good.
So it'll be once a week on a Tuesday or a Friday, and we'll announce it on Facebook and at the farm stand and all that jazz. And, it's like we're getting up with Square, and we have a website, Aeggys.com. So it's like a learning experience for all of us and a side hustle.
That's awesome.
But it's really, there's a lot of glory in it. I mean, people come here and they want to spend time here, and we want to spend time here, and it's fun to just eat stuff or pick stuff as you're walking around. And then the farm dinners, Aaron's built all these tables out of some stuff cedar we've milled, and then like there's a kit you could make. So he's got a bunch of tables back there, and people come in the evening. It's really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great, there is really nothing better than feeding people.
Yeah. That's his whole thing.
It is. It's like, it is. It's like playing music or doing any other art where it's a performance art where people can appreciate what you did, and they are so grateful for that. I mean, I made those stupid grilled cheese sandwiches the other day. You saw that, and they were like, "Oh my God, these are the best things." I was literally could not have been more stupid, right?
Yeah, but we don't. You very rarely get to eat American cheese and white bread, so it was like a little bit of a treat too.
A little bit of a decadent treat. But you just feed people, and they rise up to acknowledge it. So this is a whole
talk about the Liza Beulah neighborhood. I mean, people love that they can just walk up and get their eggs or some vegetables.
Well, that's the best part about the island. Not the best part about the island, but the number of farm stands, and that I don't use this. I don't have this farm stand on my because I have Plum Forest, which is right around the corner, and I have 2 others that are if they're right there. So everyone's got every
part of the island's got their own, this is my farm stand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or this is my farm stand for this, and this is my farm stand for
that.
this.
You got the cheese, you got the milk, you got
Right.
the eggs.
The goat up on Burton Hill, the goat people.
Yep.
And then the goat people down by the Chevron now, too.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and
Multiple goat people.
there's a farm stand map,
Yes.
which has been put together by Vega,
Yeah.
which I always recommend to tourists or people
Yep.
just coming here for a little bit, or maybe even wanting to move or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm basing this series,
Cool.
like just going to interview
he
them all.
going?
What was that?
That was my friend. That was the guy that just called. I don't know. He must have seen like.
Okay, fine. Then we're talking. This is a serious negotiation for something.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. And so, what else do you do?
On the farm?
No.
You mean me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm a full-time elementary school teacher.
Okay, got it.
So I have summers off. So I.
Oh yeah, that's right.
work
All the
farm.
kids were
yeah.
rocking with you at the farm stand there.
Yeah.
You were definitely the elementary school teacher.
Yes.
How long have you done that? Did you teach my kids?
How old are they?
17 and 20.
Oh, maybe the 17-year-old. I started on Vashon 12 years ago. So they would have been 5.
Yeah, Jonah Hendon.
Jonah.
They may not have been in your class.
Yeah. That would have been my first year.
Okay,
if
fine.
he's 17.
He's 17 now. He
Yeah.
just turned 17.
Okay.
That's depressing. That was 12 years ago. It hurts me. That hurts my heart. That's.
Well, what was his kindergarten teacher's name? Do you remember?
I don't know.
That's hard.
Yeah.
He probably remembers, but
Maybe. I don't know.
yeah.
All right. Anyway, so you teach elementary school. So this is a perfect side hustle for you.
Oh, yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
That's great. And Aaron does this full time, or he also has a job?
Aaron, all of the things involved with the farm, that's kind of his job.
Right.
So, like, he's going to do the dinners. He does the Saturday market. We just got a private dinner book. We booked a private dinner. So he'll do a catering job or
Right.
he'll cook for an event. We're doing Dig Deep dinners.
Oh, great.
So he's like using his chef and using his farmer, and
And
he just
keep
goes with
expanding
that.
it.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, that's fabulous because that's also got year-round potential too. You don't have to just do it during the summer.
we did like we catered a company Christmas dinner a few years ago. So yeah,
That's great. That's awesome. All right. Well, what else do you want people to know about the farm, or if anyone's thinking about moving to the island, what do you love about Vashon? And what do you hate about Vashon?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
This is.
The farm is,
Yeah.
or just Vashon in general.
No,
Both,
like
I think.
working, having a farm.
Yeah.
And so just thinking like, we want to preserve these things. You got to stand by people. Believe in people. If they have events, you got to come to them. Got to come by to, and you can't just go to one farm stand.
Right.
You got to go to all the farm stands, and talk about them. And I mean, farming the land it can be fruitful, but it can also, at times, just be like, why are we doing this?
Right.
So the reason is the people. Right. People saying, oh, do you have this on your farm stand? Do you have that? Moving to the island, just thinking about keeping it rural, keeping it like buying local. That's that's my hashtag all the time on Instagram is like, support the local people, use cash. That's my big thing these days. And public school. No.
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. My daughter did Harbor, and then my son did straight up elementary. Whatever works for people. But yeah, I'm generally we actually had a little come to Jesus with ourselves about we're putting our kid in private school. That was a whole because we're union left public school. Everything in our upbringing was like, really, we're doing this, but we came to grips that that's the best thing for this kid at this time. So.
That's perfect. That's it.
I'm not not making a political statement about it.
Nope. It's
so yeah, but
totally.
it's good. I appreciate the the work
good to have the diversity actually.
Yeah.
It's like,
and the Harbor School is barely like some major private.
I always say like, so Iyad Syrian Grill is next to us all the time. It's like we do better when Iyad is there.
Right.
So you have to have some. It's not competition in my mind. It's like choices and offerings.
Completely. The farmers market would not work unless it was 13 farms or whatever. Like everyone showed up. There's not enough diversity for it to make it interesting. And right now, we love the farmers market. I mean,
although a lot of farmers now, since the pandemic, the farm stands they're making more money off people just coming to the farm stands and doing CSAs. So our farmers market is less vegetables these days.
And more crafts and stuff?
And more crafts, yeah, and food for purchase. Yeah, so it's almost like turning into a crafter's market instead of a farmer's market.
Which is okay for you.
Yeah, fine for us.
You're just there for the foot traffic.
Yeah.
Any foot traffic.
Yeah.
Good. I didn't realize that was the model. That's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. What would Aaron want me to say? He didn't really tell me anything that I needed to say, just that he works so hard.
Yeah. Okay, good. We know he's the one keeping it all together. Okay, we'll make sure that.
Well, no, it's more Zena. Zena is keeping it all together. She's the business side of it.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. My sister-in-law.
His sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's the one who tells you what you should grow and how much the net is and the.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, you need both. You need someone who's going to do the work, someone's going to crunch the numbers, and someone who's going to be excited. You know, everyone gets excited about it.
Yeah, and he knows a lot about agriculture. I mean, that was his major at Evergreen, so he knows when to plant something or how to cultivate something. Or
Killer.
that you have to tie tomatoes up. I didn't know that, you know?
Now you're making me feel bad. I got to go tie my, I don't have to tie them up. They're in the little cages, but I got to go trim them because they're just too many leaves and it's I'm not going to get enough fruit.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Okay. Well, Amanda, I love you. I really appreciate the time. This is really fun. And Aeggys Farm down in my Liza Beulah is the best. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, that was a really fun interview with Amanda from Aeggys Farm. I adore her. I love Aaron. I love that whole scene, the family scene they got over there. And like we were talking about, you know, the Vashon Island Growers Association kicks ass. It is just one of the highlights of the island. So for sure, pick up a guide to the farm stands, which there'll be a link for in this YouTube, like somewhere down below, somewhere there's a link to the Vashon Island Growers Association, and you should check those farms out. And if you get a chance, stop by the farm stand and say hi to Amanda and get some of their great eggs, or come by the farmer's market and get a sandwich because they're delicious. And if you have any questions about living on Vashon, that's what I'm here for. Let me know. Here to help with any questions you have about island life. Aaron Hendon with Christine and Company at eXp Realty. Don't forget to subscribe, like, all that stuff, and I'll see you next time.